Most people think The Boys is just a violent parody of superheroes, but underneath the blood, shock value, and dark humor, it's quietly exposing how power really works and why the people we idolize should scare us the most. A show where the main antagonist is a power-hungry superhero who is modeled after a world leader. The Boys takes place in a world where celebrities are untouchable, power is protected, and the people meant to save us are the most dangerous ones alive. And the scary part is, it's not as fictional as we think. Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to The Truth Is, where I drop new videos exposing the truth weekly. In today's episode, we will be talking about the TV show The Boys. Let's get right into it. The Boys has become one of the most popular TV shows in the last few years. A show that tackles the idea of superheroes who are as popular as celebrities, as influential as politicians, and as revered as gods. But instead of saving people like traditional heroes, they abuse their massive power rather than use them for good. Known for its satirical dark comedy storytelling and over-the-top scenes, The Boys has become massively popular, leading to 4 seasons with a 5th one on the way. While at first glance, the show comes off as simply a hardcore parody making fun of superheroes. But when you look deeper past all the men in tights and edgy jokes, you quickly start to notice that this dark edgy comedy is actually full of deep social and political commentary. As ridiculous as the show is at times, it is actually hiding the truth in plain sight. In today's episode, I will be revealing the deeper side of The Boys. Chances are, after seeing this, you will stop watching the show as a superhero show and start watching it as a commentary on our society. Now, before we get into the deeper side of the show, let me give you guys a quick synopsis for those who are unfamiliar with the show. I want to warn you guys, there will be spoilers ahead. The show follows the story of The Boys, a group hell-bent on destroying superheroes, specifically the superhero group The Seven and the company behind them called Vought. The reason they want to destroy all superheroes is that all the members of The Boys have been hurt by the Seven and Vought in some really messed up ways. Butcher, the leader of the group, hates the Seven because Homelander, the leader of the Seven, R-worded his wife and got her pregnant. Huey, another member of The Boys, saw his girlfriend get killed right in front of him by a soup called A-Train, who recklessly ran through her with his super speed while high. Another Boys member, had his entire family killed by a soup named Soldier Boy. In the show, superheroes are made by the company Vought, a powerful company with infinite power and money. The way they make these superheroes is truly messed up though. Vought approaches families who just had a baby and offers them a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, if you can call it that. They offer these parents the chance of turning their regular baby into a powerful superhero, giving them the chance of one day being a member of the Seven. If the parents agree, then Vought takes their child and injects them with a substance they call V, which is what turns people into superheroes. Vought realized that injecting adults with V often resulted in a negative outcome, but if they gave V to children, their bodies accepted it better, leading to some children successfully becoming soups. At the beginning of the show, this is unknown to the public, but thanks to The Boys, it eventually gets exposed. Now, while superheroes are traditionally seen as good across all media, in The Boys, that's not the case at all, as the superheroes are closer to ego-driven psychopath celebrities who do everything and anything to uphold their public image. The so-called heroes don't actually save people. For the most part, they just pretend to for the public. Most of the time, they end up killing a bunch of innocent civilians and doing other much more disturbing things. The main antagonist in the show is a superhero named Homelander. Homelander, the leader of the Seven, is supposed to be a parody of Superman. He is considered the strongest soup of all and is feared by everyone. The only problem is, Homelander is nothing short of a full-on psychopath. He is known for destroying anyone who doesn't agree with him or questions his authority. Whenever he does attempt to save people, he usually does more harm than good. For example, there's a scene where a plane was hijacked by a terrorist group. Homelander flies up to the plane with another soup called Queen Maeve. When he gets inside the plane, he enters the cockpit and instantly takes out the terrorists with his laser blast. But at the same time, he destroys the plane's controls. Because of this, the plane can't be piloted and it starts to fall rapidly. When Homelander realizes what he did, he decides he's going to leave the plane and not save any of the passengers. When Maeve begged him to at least save a little girl and her mother who were on board, Homelander refuses and tells her he's not going to save anyone because they would tell everyone that he left the rest of the passengers to die, which would make him look bad.
Take these two! No! Just these two! No, what? So they can tell the world that we left the rest of them to die?
So Homelander flies off the plane with Maeve and leaves all the passengers falling to their demise. After the crash, Homelander appears on the news telling the reporters that he wasn't able to get to the plane in time, and by the time he got there, it had already crashed.
Said they didn't have to die. We arrived 3 minutes after the plane went down.
This by far is one of the greatest examples of who Homelander is. He is not concerned with actually being a hero, just looking like one for the cameras. Because of his immense power, he goes unchecked for any of the evil, cruel things he does throughout the show. Eventually, we do find out why Homelander is so brutally cold-hearted, and it turns out it's all because of Vought. Homelander was one of the only superheroes who was essentially the child of Vought. The company paid an employee to be the surrogate mother of Homelander. They used another supe named Soldier Boy as the donor and impregnated the woman with his baby. Eventually, when Homelander was born, he ended up killing his surrogate mother while giving birth, lasering her from the inside. Because he was essentially a child of the company, he wasn't raised by traditional parents. Instead, he was raised by a group of scientists in a lab who treated him like a circus freak, using him for experiments and basically torturing him to test his powers. This severely psychologically affected Homelander, leaving him with a mommy complex, leading him to seek maternal validation from female figures at Vought, most notably Madeline Stillwell, the CEO of the company, whom he viewed with a disturbing mix of loyalty and sexual obsession. Often, he would make her breastfeed him so he can fulfill his desires to have a mother. But just like everyone else around Homelander, he would go on to laser her face off because he became jealous of her real baby. On the surface, the show is basically about how everyone is afraid of Homelander and wants to destroy him. But underneath that initial layer, you start to see what the story The Boys is really trying to tell. Let's start peeling off the layers, going deeper and deeper, revealing the side of The Boys you might have not picked up on. The first thing they make extremely obvious is that these so-called superheroes are actually an analogy for celebrities and political leaders. There is a pretty clear comparison between the superheroes and big celebrities. For example, in the show, the superheroes hyper-focus on their public image and their approval points, with the supes having teams of handlers who tell them what to say and what to do. Just like celebrities have handlers who construct their entire public image to make sure they stay on brand. In the show, the heroes are more focused on making money than actually saving people. The supes also actually star in superhero movies that are used to craft their hero story, making the supes actors instead of actual superheroes. They use these heroes to sell products, sell movies, and to push political campaigns. The Boys also tries to show the undesirable side of celebrities, how in front of the cameras, they have a well-crafted good guy image, but when the cameras are off, they become the monsters they truly are, doing things they would never want their fans to see. It also shows the toxic celebrity and fan dynamic, how celebrities act like good, caring people who love their fans in public, but the moment the cameras are off, they treat their fans like peasants whom they use to fuel their lives. In the show, Homelander refers to regular people as toys and worthless, only there for his amusement, while comparing himself to a god.
They're only humans, and toys for our amusement, that's right.
Another interesting thing they show is how these celebrities are actually created by corporations and are not organically made. In the show, the supes are made in a lab. They are groomed from childhood to become heroes when they grow up. At the end of it all, they're just a product made by the mega corporation Vought, just like we see with the biggest celebrities, who themselves are made, groomed, and controlled by the Hollywood machine, showing that these celebrities are closer to hand puppets than people. It is also an analogy for child stars, how many parents choose to sell their children to Hollywood so they can be stars and make money. Another thing this show does a great job of showing is how celebrities get away with all the horrible things they do. For example, in The Boys, every time they hurt civilians or cause the demise of an innocent person, the media runs a story that makes the heroes look innocent, just like we saw earlier from the Homelander scene, when he left an entire plane of people to die. But the media reported it like he wasn't able to get to them on time. Another example of this PR media manipulation is how they stage their hero saves for the public. There is one scene where Homelander's son rehearses a superhero save where he has to stop a bank robber. They use actors and try to make it look as real as possible, rehearsing and practicing the save for days. When they actually went to enact this save in real life, Homelander's son ends up accidentally killing the bank robber, who is just an innocent actor. But the media then spun the story to make it look like he stopped a violent criminal. This is a great reference to how celebrities use the media and PR companies to cover up all their wrongdoings, all in order to protect their public image and persona so they can keep selling lies to the public. The next thing I want to talk about is how they make a reference to celebrities using religion to manipulate the masses and to trick them into blindly following them. In the show, many of the heroes, especially Homelander, presents themselves as Christians and use religion to push their agendas. Even though Homelander believes he's a god and does the most heinous things imaginable, he is seen constantly using religion to win over people and to manipulate and mobilize the fans.
Then I baptize you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
There is one soup named Ezekiel who is a religious leader and televangelist who serves as the public face for Capes for Christ and the Believe Expo. While in public, he pretends to be a Christian and uses religion to make money. But behind the scenes, he is one of the most immoral characters of them all. There's even a scene where he is shown in a private superhero nightclub getting frisky with 3 guys at the same time. Ezekiel uses religion as a mask to hide his dark side and to sell his public image, just like we can see from many of the biggest politicians and celebrities who use religion to gain fans and supporters, or even to get elected. A good example of this would be Kanye West and his entire Christian era, dropping so-called Christian music and even hosting church service events. Kanye managed to gain new fans because he presented himself as a Christian, only to later backtrack on everything he said and start calling himself a god again and even announce he was making his own adult website. Celebrities just like the Soups and the Boys often use religion as a marketing ploy just to capture a bigger audience who are religious, when in reality, these celebrities are usually moralist individuals whose true god is money. Now let's move on to some even deeper points the show makes. One of the things I noticed over time while watching the show is that while Homelander is supposed to be a parody of Superman, they also seem to make parallels between him and Donald Trump. I thought to myself maybe I was just overthinking it, but by the 3rd season they made it quite obvious that Homelander was definitely a satirical representation of Donald Trump. Before you say I'm making things up or I'm just coming at Trump, this was actually confirmed by the creator of the show himself. Eric Kripke, the showrunner, describes Homelander as a metaphor for US President Donald Trump and views the show as a scathing satire of modern American politics. The show's writers have admitted to taking snippets of Trump's speeches and incorporating them into Homelander's dialogue.
We will make America safe again.
America will be safe again.
Several major scenes were directly inspired by Trump's real-world actions. For example, in the season 3 finale, there's a scene where Homelander kills a protester in public and is cheered on by his followers. This entire scene was based on Trump's 2016 remark that he can shoot somebody on 5th Avenue without losing any voters.
You say, I have the most loyal people. Did you ever see that? Where I could stand in the middle of 5th Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
Which was proven true with Homelander in season 4 when he was taken to trial but was found innocent, with the incident labeled self-defense because the protester threw an empty water bottle at his son, proving that Homelander is seen more like a god than a hero, like some will say Trump is seen. Now obviously, if Homelander is supposed to be a dark parody of Trump, then naturally he is portrayed as the leader of the right, with Starlight, a former member of the Seven turned resistance leader, depicted as the leader of the left. In the show, Starlight is the leader of the Starlighters, which focuses on themes often associated with the American left movement, such as corporate accountability, human rights, and exposing corporations within powerful institutions like Vought International. Now this is when the show reveals the most important truth of all: the political deception the American people always fall for. While Homelander supporters are seen like the right and the Starlighters are seen as the left, the show tells us how they're both two wings of the same beast with the character Victoria Newman. Victoria Newman initially was aligned with the Starlighters left movement, but as the show went on, she is revealed to be deeply corrupt and evil, as Newman is exposed to be a secret soup who has the power to pop people's heads off like balloons, which she does to a bunch of people during a political event. In the show, Newman is running for vice president as a Democrat standing against Homelander and Vought, but it's eventually revealed that she's secretly working with Homelander, suggesting that both ends of the political spectrum in the show's world, like in the real world, are one and the same and are both controlled by the same people behind the scenes. Now, let's talk about the most revealing moments of the show. How the show reveals the truth about false flag scenarios used for political narratives. In the show, there's an episode where the Starlighters are protesting at Homelander's trial. While Homelander supporters are there resisting the Starlighters, Homelander stages a false flag attack on his own supporters. He invites some of his big supporters to a private meet and greet. He then has members of the Seven kill his own supporters and then plants their bodies at the protest in order to make Starlighters look violent and dangerous. This is a clear example of a false flag attack, something that many believe are used by the elite to push narratives and cause separation. The Boys also shows how politics are used to divide the people, keep them fighting amongst each other, while the real evildoers keep on running the country to benefit themselves. Now in the 4th season, they secretly reveal one of the most important realities of our society: the inhumane practice of profiting from prisoners. In an episode of the 4th season, a billionaire soup named Tech Knight hosted a private event for the billionaire elite where they conspired to rig an election. During this event, Tech Knight casually reveals a very important thing that most likely went over many people's heads. When telling someone about how he acquired his massive wealth, stating that they made millions from capturing slaves, but now he makes his money from the private prison industry, where they target predominantly black and brown people from urban communities and imprison them for profits.
No, you don't get this from entertainment money. This is real money. 11 generations money. Our family started out as slave catchers. Now we own more private prisons than any other company in the US of A. And you sure know how to fill them.
This is a direct reference to the private prison industry, how those who own these private prisons invest in record labels and Hollywood movies to influence what music and movies is pushed to the urban community, pushing an agenda that would influence the urban youth to adopt a criminal lifestyle where they would be more likely to end up in a private prison that they profit from. It's honestly crazy how nonchalant the show threw that in there. As you can see, The Boys is way deeper than just a parody on superheroes. In reality, it's holding up a mirror showing us through a dark, edgy comedy what our world truly is. The nasty, disturbing truth most people pretend not to see. How the world's obsession with celebrities and politicians allows them to take advantage of them and use them to fuel their egos in their luxurious world. Now, there is much more I wasn't able to get to in this video, but with the 5th and final season of The Boys coming out soon, I'll save it for a part 2. That's if you guys want a part 2. So if you want a part 2, comment part 2 below. And if enough of you want to see that, I'll make sure to get it done. Well, that's it for this video. But before you guys go, I just wanted to let my Patreon members know that I just released a new Patreon exclusive video about the recent ICE situation. If you're one of my members, make sure to check it out after this one. If you're not a member, what are you waiting for? Join the Truth Movement and help me spread the truth. For $3 a month, not only will you be further supporting the channel, but you would also get access to over 50 exclusive Patreon videos that are not available here on YouTube. If you would like to join, you can find the link in the description or in the comment section. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.